Hello everyone. Okay, welcome to my bathroom. Let me make sure this is secure. Okay, so today we're going to be doing a little get ready with me and a little story time. I hope this is interesting to you. I hope it teaches you perhaps a few lessons that I wish I would have known. So tonight we're getting ready for like a comedy show or something, so I don't know, so let's just get into it. I don't have a very long routine, so I need to keep the story going. Okay, so first of all, what I start out with when I get ready, I just got out of the shower, and it's literally just like Morocco, it's argan oil. It's literally from Morocco. Khalil brought it back for me last time he was in Marrakesh, so I literally just put like, oh, okay, that's way too much. I put like the teeny tiniest bit because if you put too much, it'll make your hair oily. And then I just put it like in the ends of my hair to keep her, moisturized and glossy. Okay, so let's start out with the story, shall we? So this is the story of my kidney infection when I visited Khalil in November 2018. This was just after I had come back from being an au pair. We had met, we were doing long distance, and so we're like, okay, I should come visit. Trying to make it work. So in the midst of planning our trip, we decided that we were going to take a little 2-day trip to Milan. So now I'm going to go in with this Felt Formula Essence. It's like it's like a hydrator. I like to do it before I put on my moisturizer. Sometimes I use a toner, but today I'm just going to do this. And then I just like put it in my hands, rub it together, blah, blah. So Khalil and I decided to take this trip to Milan. So we booked it from Thursday to Saturday, and it was $40 round trip for a plane ticket to another country. So we're like, okay, like no brainer. So we buy these plane tickets, but the stipulation is because they're so cheap, they're on Ryanair, so they're like out of Beauvais, which is like an hour away, the airport outside of Paris, and then it's like another airport an hour outside of Milan. So on both ends, we're gonna have to take a shuttle, but we're like, who cares? Like whatever. It's gonna be so cheap. So after I go with my little essence, I go in with this Philosophy moisturizer, Purity Made Simple moisturizer. It's super light. I like it. It smells really good. So now we're just going to put this on. Do it here. Okay, so we booked these tickets. So the time comes, I come to Paris, I'm visiting Khalil, it's super nice. I get here on Monday, I think, and by Wednesday, long story short, I'm not gonna give you too many details, but I have blood in my pee. I have a UTI. So 2 days into the trip, I have a UTI. I have never had a UTI in my life. And then the second I come visit my boyfriend, I get a UTI. So that's great. Okay, so I get the UTI and we go to the pharmacy. We're like, what can we do? And of course, like we can't give you, like antibiotics, but just like try to take these cranberry pills and then like drink like a lot of cranberry juice. And so I am like chugging cranberry juice, water, trying to get it flushed out of my system. And Khalil all the while is like, you should go to the doctor. Like, you should go to the doctor. But I was like, no, like, it'll be fine. Like, I'll just flush it out of my system. Like, I definitely like to avoid going to the doctor at all costs, which, as you will come to find out, was not a good idea. Our flight leaves the next morning at like 8, I think it's like 8 a.m. out of Beauvais. So we had to leave to go get on the shuttle at like 3 a.m. So I didn't sleep at all the night before, and now I'm using this Indie Lee squalene oil. It just keeps my face like really moisturized. It's really nice. Okay, so the flight leaves like 8 a.m. to go to Milan. I don't sleep at all the night before, which I am such a like proponent of getting a good night's sleep. Like I'm like, I have to get a good night's sleep or I will not feel well. And so that was not good. So we're getting on the shuttle to go to the plane. And it's like an hour or something on the shuttle, and I'm just like not feeling well. Like I don't feel good. I feel like ill, Probably because I'm exhausted and because I have this UTI that is like raging and like coursing through my veins. So whatever. So we get to the plane, we fly there. I never sleep on planes, so I didn't sleep at all on the flight, which is only like 2 hours long. And now I'm using this Kiehl's wrinkle reducing eye cream, like that. It's pretty good. Okay, so we're on the plane, we get to Milan. We have to take the shuttle from the airport outside of Milan into Milan, and then we get on the metro and we take it to our hotel, which is like pretty far outside the city. So at this point, it's like Thursday. At this point, it's like Thursday, maybe at like noon or so. I think we got to the hotel, maybe 1. So we were supposed to have like the full day ahead of us, but neither of us had slept. So we get to the hotel and we're like, okay, like let's just like sleep for a while and try to feel better. So we get to the hotel, check in, and we end up sleeping until like 5 or 6, which like is fine because I was like, I can't even go out and do anything right now because I feel so horrible. So we sleep and then we end up going to dinner that night and it's pouring rain. It is literally pouring rain in Milan. But we do have like a nice dinner. And then we go and we walk past the Duomo for maybe like a minute because it's pouring rain and we were like, okay, well, we'll see it tomorrow. Like no big deal, like whatever. Which would turn out to be a bad choice. We go to bed that night. It's great. I actually don't feel that bad. And so then the next morning, so that was Thursday. So I wake up on Friday morning and I am in the worst pain of my life. Like, I mean, a shooting pain like up my back. I just feel literally horrible. But I'm like, okay, I'll just like try to sleep a little bit more, like whatever. And so we end up sleeping in pretty late. And Khalil said, he said that's when he knew that I was really sick. Because I wasn't like, okay, like let's get up, let's go to like tourist stuff, like, you know, whatever. We tried to go get lunch. Like we were like, let's just walk across the street to this like kind of mall and try to find something to eat. So we go over there and we're eating like, I don't know what. And we can't eat. And I was like, but I want to go see stuff. I want to go sightsee, like whatever. And so we go out onto the street and I'm just like doubled over. Like I'm like, I cannot move anymore. I feel so sick. Like I feel just like dreadful. So Khalil and I go back to the hotel. I feel so bad. He's just like staying with me in the hotel. I'm basically like in the bath like all day, like trying to, like that's like the only way I could get relief from the pain was just like laying in the bath. And if you've ever seen the show Euphoria, so that scene where Rue gets a kidney infection, I actually found it to be very accurate. I mean, like it's, yeah. Okay, so I'm in the bath trying to like find relief from the pain. I'm like taking medicine, and the whole time Khalil is like, should we go to the doctor? Like, should we go to the doctor? And I was like, no, like I don't want to. Like I just want to rest. So I literally stayed in the hotel room all day. Like we paid all that money to go sit in a hotel room, and that's pretty much all. If I could just recap, it's like I was just like in misery all day in the hotel, just like trying not to like throw up. Like it was, I couldn't eat anything, and Khalil is very like, you need to eat, like nutrition, like yeah. So he's like trying to get me to eat things all day, and it was so sweet. All day he was like bringing me food and being like, please, like eat this, eat that, like whatever. So then the time comes, so that was Friday, didn't go out at all, didn't do anything, and Khalil like wouldn't leave me, obviously, which is nice, but like I felt so bad. And so he was like, okay, so then the time comes, so that was Friday. So then Saturday comes, we have another early flight to go back to Paris. So I don't sleep at all on Friday, basically. And then we get up super early, we get on the shuttle to go back to the other airport outside of Milan, and Khalil's like at the airport, like with a fruit cup being like, please, like eat an apple, like eat a pineapple, like please, like eat something, like, and everyone around us is just like, what's going on? I remember being like, I don't even know if I can walk through the airport. Like, I don't even know if I can move. Like I cannot describe to you enough, like, how much of a shooting, sharp, like, someone stabbing you pain is. Like, I couldn't move. And so I'm, like, limping through the airport. Khalil, eat the cup, eat the banana, try and, like, whatever. We get back to Paris, and we're like, okay, when we land in Paris, let's go to the hospital. And I was like, yeah, sure. So we land in Paris, we get on the shuttle, we get back to the point where the shuttle drops you off, and Khalil was like, do you want to, okay, let's go to the hospital. And I was like, okay, like, I really, like, I was like, please, can we just go home and sleep for a little bit? let's go. He was like, okay, let's go home and sleep, and then we'll go to the hospital. We'll go to the doctor. And I was like, yeah, sure, okay. So, and all the while this is happening, I think I texted my sister, and I was like, do you know what's going on? She was like, oh yeah, I think you have a kidney infection, like, for sure. So I woke up after the nap, and I was like, wow, I actually feel like a little bit better. Like, maybe I just needed a little bit of rest, which, I don't know, I always feel like rest is, like, such a great medicine. We ended up, I think, just, like, staying in the rest of the day and just, like, chilling, maybe going to a movie. But I was like, oh, I actually feel like okay, like, you know, whatever. But Halil was like, we should go to the doctor. But I was like, no, like, it's fine. Like, I'll be okay. So cut to Sunday. This is the day before I'm gonna leave. And we're like, it's the last day of us being together. You know, next day I'm going back to the US. Who knows when we'll see each other again. La. So we go to Holy Belly, this brunch place we, like, love. And I'm, like, trying to eat, and I'm, like, just, like, feeling so sick. And, like, in pain, like, just feeling ill. And Halil was like, okay, seriously, like, I'm over this, like enough is enough, like, we're going to the hospital. So I'm like, okay, like, whatever. So we ended up going to the hospital. We went to the American hospital in Paris because I think when you're, like, in these situations, you're kind of, like, I think you're just looking for something familiar, and I was like, I don't know where to go, like, I'll just go to the American hospital. I don't even know what that means at that point, but basically it's a private hospital, and it's nice. Okay, so I'm putting on so much concealer because my skin looks so bad. Okay, so we get to the hospital, and they check us in, and it's pretty fast, and they're like, okay, like, the doctor will see you. And the doctor comes and sees me, and he's like, yeah, like, for sure you have a kidney infection. He goes, of course I'm gonna do, like, blood work, and you're gonna, like, pee in a cup, but, like, I mean, just to confirm it. He's like, I'm sure that's what's going on. And so we're sitting there, and they come in and they bring me some, and I will, like, insert some clips of us, like, in the hospital. Blessed. So then one of the nurses comes in, and he puts an IV in my arm, and I'm like, okay, yes, pain medicine, like, let's go. Finally gonna get some relief, because just, like, the regular, like, Doliprane or whatever in France was, like, not doing the trick, like, at all. Okay, so the IV. So a nurse comes in, a guy nurse, and a nurse, there's no guy, whatever. A nurse comes in and puts in the IV, like, in my arm, to give me some pain medication. I was like, oh my god, yes. So we're, like, sitting there for, like, a long time, like, waiting for the results. I'm, like, getting the pain medication, and I'm noticing that, like, the pain, like, is kind of subsiding, but not in the way that I would expect with an IV. So and so then I'm kind of, like, I'm observing my arm, and literally, like, where the IV is, it's just, like, growing and growing, like, a lump and a lump and a lump. Like, it just, like, does not look right. I'm not a medical professional, but I was like, this does not look okay. So, the other, I don't know, like, what the hierarchy was, but more of, like, the main nurse who was taking care of me, she comes back in, and she's like, oh, like, c'est quoi ça? Like, c'est pas possible. And I'm like, oh my god, like, what's happening? She's like, yeah, like, the IV has not been put correctly into your arm. And I was like, great. So she takes it out, and she's like, okay, like, it's fine, like, you'll just have to wait a little bit, and the swelling in your arm will go, like, this huge, like, ball in your arm will just, like, go away. And I was like, great. So the doctor confirms it's a kidney infection. He sends me with, like, all these all this, like, antibiotics. He sends me, like, an antibiotic, and then all these different pain medicines, like, and sends me on my way back home. And this is another, like, travel tip that I would definitely give to people, is if you have the means, or, like, someone, like, if you can travel with a credit card for emergencies, I would definitely do so, because that's how I paid for my emergency room trip. It was like 300 euros, which honestly, like, is not bad, because when I walked in, I was like, I literally have no idea what I'm walking into. I don't know what the expense is gonna be, but it was 300, which, like, is a lot of money, but, like, I don't know, I was happy just to be on the up and up. And this is just like this NARS bronzer that I've had literally forever, but I love it. I use it on my eyes, as you can see sometimes. So that was basically the whole day, was us like going to the hospital, me sitting there. And so then we get home, and then the next day I had to fly back to Tulsa, and I felt like ass the entire flight. I flew to Chicago, and I was like about to miss my flight, and I was like running, and I got home at like 11. I think I got home at like 11:30 at night, and my parents were like, "Oh, your car is in the parking lot. You can drive it home." But I was like really in no condition to drive, but I didn't want to like burden my parents. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll drive back. And I was supposed to go back to work the next day, and I had to text my boss and say like, hey, I had a kidney infection, or I have a kidney infection. I like cannot come into work tomorrow. So that is the long tale of the time I went to Paris and Milan and got a kidney infection. I hope if you're gonna take anything away from this story, and I'm not even done doing my makeup yet. Mostly the makeup was like something to do with my hands while I talk. But this is pretty much it. I'm just gonna put on a little mascara. Oh, and Halil's home. If I had to say any lessons that I learned from that experience, it would be to just like go to the doctor. If you're feeling sick or unwell, like just like go to the doctor. Don't wait, because it could go into something bad. And now anytime any of my friends have a UTI, I'm like, go to the doctor. Like, don't wait. Because it was horrible. And just, listen to your body. Make sure you get some rest. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you want to hear anything else or have any suggestions for content, please comment down below and like and subscribe. Thanks, and I will see you guys next time.